In a world where nearly every automaker is racing toward an electric future, Porsche has done the unthinkable. It hit the brakes on that journey and floored the gas on something far less trendy: internal combustion. This year, the German performance icon announced a surprising €800 million, roughly $870 million, investment into developing new gas-powered and plug-in hybrid vehicles. While most brands are trying to electrify everything with a plug, Porsche is preserving the roar of its high-revving engines, the very heartbeat of its identity. And it's doing so with strategy, not nostalgia. This bold approach is in line with Porsche's brand philosophy and its reputation. Porsche remains the world's most valuable luxury and premium car brand, with a brand value of over $43 billion, according to Brand Finance. That puts it ahead of global fashion heavyweights like Chanel and Louis Vuitton. In other words, this is a company not just driven by heritage, but also by market dominance and unwavering brand prestige. The decision wasn't made in a vacuum. Porsche's electrification push hit turbulence over the last year. The highly anticipated electric 718, initially slated for launch, have now been delayed. A big reason: their battery supplier, Northvolt, went bankrupt, causing a major disruption in Porsche's EV production plans. But the real wake-up call came from the market itself. Global EV demand, especially in China, Porsche's second largest market, began to stall. Porsche's deliveries in China fell by 28%, and the all-electric Taycan, once hyped as a Tesla killer, suffered a brutal 49% drop in sales. Those aren't just bad quarters, they're signs of a shifting landscape. Rather than doubling down on a shaky EV rollout, Porsche chose a more measured path forward. Engineers at the company's legendary Weissach R and D Center began refining next-gen powertrains that blend traditional combustion with modern hybrid technology. The Porsche 911 Carrera GTS is a shining example. Powered by a 3.6-litre turbocharged flat six and assisted by an electric turbo and a 1.9 kilowatt-hour battery, it doesn't even need a plug. Just stomp the pedal and you're rocketing from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 3 seconds flat. It's a street-legal beast with Formula One DNA. On the SUV side, the Cayenne Turbo E-Hybrid pairs a twin-turbo V8 with an electric motor, delivering over 730 horsepower. These hybrids aren't here to save gas. They're here to melt faces and lap tracks. But performance isn't the only motivator. Porsche's bottom line took a hit in with profit margins falling below the company's long-standing 20% target. Fully transitioning to EVs would require even more capital investment. Money that doesn't guarantee immediate returns in a lukewarm market. By contrast, hybrids and gas-powered models built on existing production lines are cheaper, faster to produce, and far more profitable right now. That's why Porsche is also trimming the fat, announcing plans to cut 3,900 jobs by 2029 and restructure leadership to stay lean and efficient. And yet Porsche isn't turning its back on sustainability. In fact, it's one of the leading voices championing synthetic e-fuels, carbon-neutral fuels made from renewable energy. Their pilot plant in Chile is already producing these futuristic fuels, which could allow internal combustion engines to live on in an eco-friendly world. In other words, they're not just prolonging the life of the gas engine, they're reinventing it for a climate-conscious era. Porsche isn't abandoning its electric dreams. The Macan EV is still on the way, and future electric versions of the Panamera and 718 are still in the pipeline. But this pivot signals a more balanced, flexible strategy. Rather than forcing customers into one drivetrain, Porsche is offering choice. The silence and speed of EVs, the thrilling pulse of gasoline, or the best of both in a hybrid. As the rest of the industry races down the EV autobahn, Porsche is carving its own scenic route, fast, loud, and unapologetically Porsche.